I don't know if you heard the news, but a man from the stock exchange, the London Stock Exchange, who was protesting outside number 10 Downing Street all morning, dressed only in a pound note, was arrested at lunchtime when there was a sharp drop in sterling. Seriously, you've got to look at the economy. It's all the politicians' fault, you know. They always say they're interested in people. Not that this is always a virtue. After all, fleas are interested in dogs. The most terrifying words in the English language, you know what they are? I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. You know, there are women in frontline roles in the military these days. Do you know that? I wasn't aware of that until recently. I mean, at first they weren't sure whether they could fight or if they could kill. But a general for God's sake, you know, proved they could. All he had to do was walk up over to the women and say, "You see that enemy over there? They say you look fat in those uniforms." I think so. But another one of the problems the military thought of is they thought that the men, you know, when they're out, if the men and women together are on active patrols, they're out in the field, they'd have to undress in front of each other for normal, basic things. But they thought that the women wouldn't like it. But they conducted a survey and they found the women said they feel more comfortable undressing in front of men than they do undressing in front of other women. They say that women are too judgmental. Yeah, well, they say the women are too judgmental, where of course the men are just grateful. Oh, good. Well, on his first day in basic training, the Air Force issued him with a comb. That afternoon, the Air Force barber shaved off all his hair. On his second day, the Air Force issued Norbert with a toothbrush. That afternoon, the dentist yanked out 7 of his teeth. On the third day, the Air Force issued him with a jockstrap. They've been looking for him for the last 40 years. Yeah. You know, a terrible thing happened to me last night. Again. Nothing. My sex life is really bad at the moment. I think my wife is a sex object, actually. Every time I ask for sex, she objects. Do you know, it's been so long since I've had sex. I mean, I tell you, if it wasn't for pickpockets and frisking at airports, I'd have no sex life at all. But I'm glad I'm not bisexual. I couldn't stand being rejected by men as well as women. I blame my father for my poor sex life, you know. I got no real advice from him. All he told me was, the man goes on top, and the woman underneath. For 3 years, my wife and I slept on bunk beds. Guy walks into a bar, you like these, don't you? He finds a horse behind the bar serving drinks. The guy is staring at the horse, and the horse says, "Hey, buddy, what are you staring at? Haven't you ever seen a horse serving drinks before?" The guy says, "No, it's not that. It's just I never thought the parrot would sell the place." Yeah, well, it's got to work that one, eh? Anyhow, he looks along the bar and sees the most beautiful girl he's ever seen sitting at the end of the bar. He takes a closer look and he notices that her skin-tight jeans have no zippers or buttons. So he walks over to her and asks, "With no zippers or buttons, how do you get your jeans off?" She replies, "Well, for starters, you could buy me a drink."